Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the look I'll be doing for you today. I basically went out and bought an entire bunch of Charlotte Tilbury stuff. My favourite thing I bought was this eyeshadow palette called the Dolce Vita palette, and I love the visual that comes with it. So I thought I would kind of recreate, or was like inspired by that look and that visual, which I'll show a picture of. So it's just very winged out, smoky, it's a really good going out makeup and an amazing palette. And I don't know how much it was, but it was so worth the money. But yeah, please keep watching if you want to recreate this super smokiness. And please check out my Instagram. I'll put links to it below on my website and everything else. I've got this on selfie cam, so I'm not doing a very good job of the filming. But yeah, and it's New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year. And yeah, please keep watching. So first of all, I did my eyebrows. Here I'm using a shade called Omega. I like to basically just line the bottom of my eyebrow and then push the product up. And then where I want a bit more density, I use this Chanel blonde pencil, just so I have more of a bit of a defined shape, and then just press over with powder again. So again, just lining the bottom of my eyebrow and brushing the product that I've placed down up. So here I'm priming my eyes. I'm using a shade called Soft Ochre, which is a paint pot by MAC, and I've used a lighter concealer under my eyes as well. And going in with my first shade, which is Omega again by MAC, which I used in my eyebrows. I'm just going to run this through the crease of my eye and just want to wing it out a bit. Don't worry about how neat it is, because we're going to tidy it up later with some concealer. Now using the same shade again in a smaller brush, I'm just running it along my bottom lash line and connecting it to the top. Just so we're going to start creating that really winged out smoky effect. I find this eyeshadow is just a really good base first colour to use before adding darker shades, because it's easier to add than to take away. Right, next I'm using my first shade from the Charlotte Tilbury palette, which is the dark chocolatey brown colour. I'm placing it in the corner and then just blending it out again with the same 221 brush. It was a lovely colour, but I felt like I had to kind of keep adding to it because it can be a bit light at first, but you can build up the darkness. So just blending it out again so there's no harsh edges and just winging out again with the blending brush. So next I'm using this kind of burnt cranberry shade from the palette. I'm pressing it onto my eyelid just so that the pigment really comes out. And then just blending the two shades together with the same brush again. So putting the product down again with the 239 and blending and joining the colours together. Now using just the excess of the colour on the brush, I just like to run it underneath my bottom lash line, just because that colour is so pretty. So spraying the same 239 brush with Fix Plus, I'm now using the kind of sparkly, shimmery shade. I found the Fix Plus just helped really pick up the product and place it down with a bit more pigment. And then again, just using the excess of the brush and brushing it underneath. Now taking any kohl eyeliner, I'm using Feline by MAC, just running it along my waterline. And warming it up on my hand just before I run it along my top lash line. I just want to put a bit of eyeliner down because I'm going to be using eyelashes just so you can't see the strip. Now just curling my lashes before applying some mascara, which is Roller Lash by Benefit, which I am in love with. Next, I'm using the Wispies from Ardell, using the Duo Dark Tone Glue and applying them with some tweezers. I find it's easiest just to place the middle of the strip down first and then put each corner in its place, as you can see here. Now I'm just using a black eyeshadow. I'm using Carbon by MAC, but you can use any shade just to darken and make it even more smoky along the lash line. Before applying some mascara, that's Extended Play Giga Backlash. Now going in with my NARS concealer in Vanilla. Be super careful when you do this because you don't want to ruin the eyeshadow you've just done. Now just putting on your normal high points of the face. Now I'm using a Real Techniques shading brush just along where the eyeshadow is, just so I get a nice smooth line, and then blending the rest of the concealer in with a damp beauty blender. If you haven't got a beauty blender, definitely get one. They are a little bit expensive, but I do find they are the best makeup sponge. Now going in with my contouring, using a contour brush from Real Techniques and the shade, I think it's the shade Sculpt, which is a MAC Pro Sculpting Powder. I just find this a nice natural sort of shade, gives a really good shadow. And now just applying a bit to the temples and around my forehead, just giving that all over sort of warm effect. And I also think I have quite a big forehead, so I want to try and make that look smaller. Now I never like to really overly contour my nose. I only apply a little bit on each side because I think over contouring it can sometimes just draw too much attention. Now highlighting, I'm using Pearl, which is a cream colour base from MAC. I'm applying it with my finger, and you can either carry on and blend it with your finger, but I'm just going to use my beauty blender again. Adding a little bit of blush, that's Ambering Rose by MAC, just to give like a nice sort of flush look. Now I'm just pressing some powder on just to get rid of any excess shine. That was MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish, and now I'm going in with my highlighter, which is Laura Mercier in Peach Mosaic. I like to use those two slightly lighter golden shades. I am so in love with this highlighter. I think I've used it in every one of my tutorials. And using Fix Plus, I just like to spray that all over my face just so the powder sits really nicely. It doesn't look too powdery. Kind of gives it the nice gleam. Now just using the highlighter from the palette. I really love this shade because it's not too white or frosty. It's quite nice and subtle. Priming my lips with MAC Prep and Prime Lip. And lining them with Naked Liner by MAC. Now in the visual they use Penelope Pink from Charlotte Tilbury, but this is Nude Kate because I don't have Penelope Pink. But I love this colour. Love a nude lip. And in the visual they use Seduction Lip Gloss, which I am popping all over the top because in the visual she has super glossy lips. Next, just adding a bit more bronze. So that's Bobbi Brown's bronzer in Natural. Just kind of going over where the contour is, around the temples again. Now going over my lashes with the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes, which is so nice. It's a really nicely designed wand because you can kind of turn it vertically like I'm doing here and apply some more to your bottom lashes. And this is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you like it. And yeah, I will put all my information below for my Instagram, my website and everything else. Thanks for watching.